Before we take questions of staff, the city attorney has asked for a moment to speak here on this matter.
Oh, thank you. I'm John Wolfe, city attorney. I'm here helping Ginny Hoffman, who is your regular advisor. This isn't I realize that this is a very important issue, and that's why I'm here. A couple of things for the audience and for the board. As was already mentioned, the city does not own this property. We have an easement over it, and that easement right now is for public access, and we use it for utilities. We will maintain the utility easement. There was a suggestion by a downtown group that we lease it to that Baywalk for some period of time. We can't lease property we do not own, and we do not own the fee simple property. The owner of this property is the owner of Baywalk. All we have is the easement. That's what this whole thing is about, is vacating that easement. I've noticed that there are concerns, and I have something from St. Pete piece here that says that, you know, it's going to cut off ability to protest and so forth and so on. That's really not in your criteria. It's not relevant to your decision. What's relevant to your decision are the conditions that have been previously mentioned on what is required for a vacation. And that's what you should base your decision on. And you can hear from the people, obviously, that have issues with the fact that it has something to do with protests. But it's not relevant to your decision. Those issues are taken up in another forum. Basically, they're taken up in the courts. We have looked at some cases. There's a case out of Salt Lake City, 10th Circuit Federal Court. We believe that if we follow the precepts of that case, which would be they would have to have some demarcation of this area if it is vacated, and it would become private property, and as such, it would become part of the Baywalk complex. We believe we can maintain a view corridor without running into constitutional problems, and we know we can maintain the utility easement without running into constitutional problems. And based on this case, if this board would decide that the vacation meets the other requirements, we're prepared to defend the First Amendment claims in court. So again, it's up to the board, but they should be looking at those criteria rather than what might happen in the way of a lawsuit for First Amendment. A First Amendment lawsuit would be against the city. It would not involve the board, obviously. So I'm just here to reassure you that we have looked at it. We feel that from a First Amendment perspective, it is defendable. And that's really not something that is related to what you should be looking at. You should be looking at, does it meet their criteria for vacation? If it does, you should vote that way. If it doesn't, obviously you should vote the other way. But that's really what you're looking at, is the criteria that have been outlined. So if there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer.